Gotham Knights is actually coming out. It's actually a real thing. I think I always thought that this would be just some kind of like vaporware, almost like Duke Nukem, right? Like this game has just been churning for so long. Big news today came out. We got a 13-minute gameplay trailer showing off some actual gameplay, which is like a first ever. It doesn't look bad. Got a lot of Arkham vibes. Obviously, makes a lot of sense. They also said that they are cutting out the old versions. So it is going to be a current gen exclusive. So it will only be available for PlayStation 5 and for Xbox Series S or X. I think that's a great move. What I want to talk about specifically, though, is the collector edition. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of news yet, but if you've been a fan of my channel or you know anything about me, you know that I like to spend a lot of time talking about collector editions and getting the news out early, because here's what happens every single time. I will release a video, nobody watches it until later when the collector edition is about to come out, and then everybody loses their mind and my comments are flooded with questions. Where can I get it? Where can I pre-order? Is it sold out? Blah, blah, blah. I tell everybody the same thing over and over and over again. Number one, subscribe to my channel because I will be the one to talk about it. And two, if you think you're even remotely interested, pre-order it now and you can cancel later. Depending on where you buy it from, sometimes the return policy may be a little less as, a little more work than you're used to, right? It might not be as easy as Amazon, but I digress. Gotham Knights is here. If you pre-order any edition, you are going to get a 233 custom with a K BATCYCLE skin. Now, I'm going to have to defer very heavily to my true love, Brent Cassina. He is going to have to answer in the comments. And when he does, rest assured, I will pin his comment to the very top because I want to get his take on all of this. I don't know anything about Batman the way he does, but I know a lot about collector editions. So, what are we looking at? This is the Gotham Knights Collector Edition, and thankfully there is a picture that is just a little bit bigger. We could take a look at the picture, then we'll go back and look at the contents. Now, I've got to say, the question is, before I even tell you the price, well, you saw it in the title, would you believe this is $300? That's a lot of money. Considering you can buy a Series S for that price, maybe less now, I don't know, the price seems to fluctuate slightly. A new console is going to cost you less than this game. They are very heavily, in my personal opinion, very heavily banking on the fact that this is a known franchise and a known entity, particularly with a lot of hooks into DC memorabilia in terms of tagging Jim Lee's name with it. It's Batman, it's got a lot of hype building into it. So what are you going to get? You're going to get the standard edition of the game, and you're also going to get the deluxe edition of the game. The deluxe edition comes with the this thing called the Visionary Pack, which includes a Night Watch by Jim Lee Transmog, another suit called Beyond Suit Style. You can get some extra salvage early, so you can start building your character a little bit faster than everybody else. Some additional boosted gear. Again, these are things to kind of get you ahead of the game, right? An exclusive emote and some more suit color stuff. So, okay. So not a whole ton of great stuff here, but it's for the avid person who wants the head start with, honestly, out of all of this, probably the skins, the exclusive skin for sure, and the emote. I feel like some of the other stuff you're going to be able to get, like the gear and stuff, you're going to be able to grind for that. But I think if you are a gotta have it all kind of person, that's great. However, you're also going to get, so you get all the digital stuff. I'm going to jump over the statue for just a moment. We're going to come back to that in just a second. You're going to get some more transmogrifications for this thing called the PROMETHIUM New Guard. You're going to get a Jim Lee Certificate of Authenticity, which, I mean, these things got to be like just printed 1,000 times over, right? That's where I feel like, unfortunately, the cost is going up so high, is based on this Certificate of Authenticity, an augmented reality key, and a map. Okay, so here's what the statue looks like. This could be yours for the low, low price of $300. I suspect if you were able to somehow divorce Jim Lee from this project, if it did not have a Jim Lee certificate of authenticity, if the statue is not inspired by Jim Lee, I have a feeling the price on this would come down. I wouldn't say considerably, but some. And I've got to say, leading into the hype for Gotham Knights, I feel like they've missed the mark so many times, releasing way too early without any real information, lots and lots of trailers and lots of front fluff. Just now, here we are, finally, after years of delay, finally getting to see some actual gameplay. And it looks decent. I gotta admit, it looks decent, but is it revolutionary, groundbreaking, next generation stuff? Well, based on what I've seen, no. Obviously, the proof is in the pudding. We'll wait until that final release comes out and check it out for ourselves. We'll know a little bit more then, but it just feels like it's kind of a rehashed thing. Okay, we can get into the reasons why the previous console generation was cut, but it's not that important. What is important is the statue. And if you're a fan of Gotham Knights and you like DC stuff, then I feel like this statue is going to appeal to you. It has all 4 of the playable characters in what I would call the hero pose. The one thing I am not a fan of, and I always beat these up in collector editions, I don't need to see the name of the game on the place, like where they stand, on the foundation, the pedestal, whatever you want to call it, the base. Don't put the name of the game in there. And guess what they did? They put the name of the game in there. Gotham Knights. It just looks out of place. If you got rid of that and you just had them standing in what appears to be a pile of dirt and or a very porous city street, I would say, cool. But now you have this and it's like, What I do like about a figure like this, though, and the way that it is presented, you can display it in different ways. And by that I mean, since you have all of the characters facing either front, left, or right, obviously not in the back. That would be really silly. Because they'd be like, hey, guy, the enemy's over here. Why do you have your back turned to us? Unless you're doing like a SWAT team maneuver where they're all walking around with their backs to each other. The fact that they're all standing together, looking kind of, in different directions with all their kind of hero poses is awesome. The fact that they all have their weapons drawn and ready for combat is equally awesome. I can't tell you the number of collector editions that I have gotten where you have a really cool weapon or a really cool prop that is somehow mounted on a character's back or they're being held down in their side. It's not like ready for use. Here, you have all of the weapons except for, obviously, Batwoman here. She does not... is it Batwoman or Batgirl? I know people are going to get mad at me. Batgirl. Okay, good. I got it right. Batgirl, she doesn't use weapons. I mean, I guess she probably could have been holding a batarang. And it kind of almost looks like she's got something there, but I think it's just a fist. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe if we could zoom in more and they didn't give me a really tiny little pixelated photo that I had to blow up, maybe I could tell you a little bit more about it. But regardless, it looks great. I love the pose. They all look like they're ready for action. They're all got their weapons out, and it looks pretty and colorful. And the fact that there's basically a 4-in-1 is really cool. Don't have any dimensions whatsoever on the height. Don't have any dimensions whatsoever on the weight or any of the dimensions. The only thing we know is this is going to run you $300. So if you're interested, keep an eye out on this page. I will post a link to this in the description box below. I suspect you will see it slowly trickle out on Walmart, Amazon, Target, other big box stores in your area or country. So keep an eye out for that. But if you're interested, check out this webpage. There's some good stuff in here. You can watch a link to the 13-minute plus gameplay footage. There is this augmented reality thing they have going on right now with this knighthood game, and they have some other little things to keep you occupied. But if you're a fan of collector editions and you really like Batman, boy, they got you over a barrel. Leave your comments below. Let me know your thoughts on the Gotham Knight Collector Edition. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. And until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.